Hey guys, so I want to show you how an attacker can get a reverse shell and persistent access into your machine without you knowing. And to do that, we're going to use this Raspberry Pi Zero. Now, what this device does, it acts as a keyboard, so it allows. Now, what this device does is acts as a keyboard and injects keystrokes as if it was the user using it. Now, as you can see, I have a victim computer which was left unattended, which should give me enough time to perform the attack. Now, to perform the attack, as you can see, we will just plug in the device and let's see it in action. So at first, once the Raspberry Pi is connected, it is being recognized as a keyboard by the computer. At first, it opens up the Windows Defender menu to manually disable it. We can't just add a register key because Windows Defender is so integrated into Windows that it has a temporal protection. So just adding a register key won't be enough. This is why we manually disable it and bypass the user access. So once that's done, we open up a PowerShell window with administrative privileges and paste in this command. This command is adding register keys to the registry, which will disable the antivirus for good. It will disable the user access control, so it will enable us to run any script with administrative privileges. And it will also allow PowerShell scripts to be run in the computer. This will be useful for the payload to run at startup. Last, then it opens up another PowerShell window where the necessary payloads and scripts are downloaded. 3 payloads are downloaded, one being the payload itself, which is going to give us the reverse shell, and it's downloaded in the system32 folder. Another script, run.exe, is downloaded in the startup folder, which will run at startup and run our reverse shell at startup. And finally, another script is downloaded in the system32 folder, which will just add the keys back into the register at startup, just to ensure that all the registers are kept the same even after an update. So when the attack is performed, nothing really happens. The magic happens when the machine restarts. So let's do that. As you can see, in the attacker machine, I have a listener listening for the incoming connection of the victim machine, without even having to access and enter the password. And as you can see, we have a connection from the victim machine without even having to log in. But if the user logs in, they will not see nothing. However, from the attacker machine, we have administrative access to the machine, so we can do whatever we want. We have access to the Wi-Fi, any passwords, and in fact we can download, upload any data, information, or even scripts to run. But for example, we can do things like opening up Google Chrome. Now with this, we can do much more. The good thing is that even if you lose connection, the victim machine will reattempt to connect to the attacking machine. So we'll always have persistent access to the machine. Now this can be further exploited, and with full control of the victim machine, now the attacker can do whatever he wants. Now, keynotes to point out. The victim machine can be fully patched with the latest Windows updates, and this will still work. However, it does not counteract any third-party antiviruses such as Norton or Panda. Also, assuming the user logs in very quickly or fast enough, you would be able to see a couple windows pop up at startup. However, if the user takes more than a minute, this shouldn't be a problem and it shouldn't see it, so it should be undetectable for the normal user. This attack leaves the victim computer very vulnerable, disabling the integrated antivirus that comes with Windows Defender, and also allowing any script and any program to run with administrative privileges. This kind of attack is very dangerous because, like I said, having a reverse shell with administrative privileges and being able to upload and download any script that we want allows us to run anything we want. Now this kind of attack is very dangerous because it leaves the victim machine very vulnerable. It disables completely the integrated Windows Defender that comes with Windows, which, as far as I know, most users use that as the main antivirus. Lastly, it could be furthermore damaging by, now, even though we have a shell with administrative privileges, we can further the attack by upgrading the shell to a meterpreter shell. That meterpreter shell will give us access to a webcam and more commands to further the control over the machine, which I will be doing in the next couple of videos with privilege escalation as well. Now, all the code can be found in my GitHub. Please use responsibly and be careful.